start practice. Sliders may be cool, but no practice slides or touching the stones. No sweeping is allowed between the backhands. Practice may begin.
Welcome to the Wings Event Center, the Kalamazoo Curling Club here in Kalamazoo, Michigan. 2023 USA Curling Mixed Doubles National Championships. 16 teams competing in 2 pools of 8, round-robin play. Winner of this championship will advance to the World Mixed Doubles Championships in Gangneung, South Korea. Here for this evening draw, Tyler George once again in the booth, joined by Bill Stapera. Bill, thanks so much for joining us for this game and taking time away from being a dad, watching your son play.
Thanks, Ty. It's great to be here. Pretty excited about the matchup we got here. My clubmate, Danny Casper, and his partner playing Cory, who's now playing with my son, so pretty neat game for me.
Let's take a look at the standings here from Pool A. Geving, Schuster, Persinger, Plies, both at 3-0. Fountain Cott, Rhymes, Smith at 2-1. Hamilton, Moores, Wheeler, both at 1-2. And Berber, Rohrbacher, Skevy for their first wins at 0-3. And on the other side for tonight's pool will be Strouse, Casper, and Thiesse, Dropkin, the only undefeated teams at 2-0. Anderson, Richardson, and Anderson, Stapera, both at 1-1. Bookout, Wiesa, Nickel at 1-1. And Delaney, Sinnott, Podal, Perry at 0-2. In tonight's game, there's the graphic. We got it, folks. Jerry pumps his fist. Strouse and Casper taking on Thiesse and Dropkin. Again, both undefeated teams looking to stay atop the standings. Billy, as you said, this will be a fun one to watch. You see there Delaney, Strouse, and Danny Casper, the skips of the defending runners-up for women's and men's, respectively, the national championships, and Cory Thiesse and Cory Dropkin. Cory, the reigning women's national champion, at 3rd position. Cory Dropkin, former men's national champion and skip. Look around the sheets to see the other draws. Our feature game on Sheet B, Strouse, Casper, and Thiesse, Dropkin. Sheet C, Podal and Perry taking on Anderson, Stapera. Sheet D, Anderson, Richardson against Delaney and Sinnott. And Sheet E, Nickel versus Bookout and Wiesa. We are underway already. First box are in play, not just the ones that they place in first out. First draw to the top of the button by Strouse and Casper. Delaney Strouse right to the top of the lid. The start for her, and now Cory Christensen trying to follow suit. So used to saying Christensen for the first time. When I see her out there, I'm not sure I'll ever get used to saying Thiesse just when I acknowledge her initially, but it is Cory Thiesse. Sorry about that, Sam. I know that's your wife. So Bill, 3 rocks in the 4th foot, no surprise to start out this game.
Yeah, he's just
team can get a feel for the ice and get that position early on.
He's trying to lock one in here. You would think he's going to be pretty close here. It's kind of interesting, Ty.
Missed much of anything over this last year that we've seen.
No, he's been playing great. I was going to say it's kind of interesting. Now we got the young bucks, which is not Cory anymore, and Cory's kind of a veteran.
Yeah.
You know, it's not quite the John status as veteran, but in those guys.
They may just be bucks pretty soon now, too. We got our first announcer jinx out of the way already in the first end, too, with Danny wrecking on that guard after we talked about him not missing much anything this year. So good to get that one done already. Cory Dropkin playing, he believes, his back 12 in this draw. Trying to move this red stone, bump it back a little bit, keep it for back. Like it will be nose.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, very well played. As Cory said, great spot to put it. You see the angles on the 2 yellow stones besides the shooter, and dead back to the stone.
You know, it looks like a double there, Ty. I can't quite tell. I think they're going to throw it.
Yeah, Yeah, they have from our look at the screen maybe a quarter of that stone, which is about what you need to be able to see to make the shot. You don't really have to heave it to clear both.
But as you know, you better make this one. Big shot right here early.
Yeah, it looks like they're lining up to play the other two. Room on the outside of that.
Just worried about the guard.
Let's get one. Rolls off. I think maybe Danny was asking about the other double. It certainly didn't look like it was there. It was always jamming, but it does roll behind the corner. Thiesse and Dropkin with hammer. Very good position early.
Yeah, it looked like he hit that one on the wrong side. He was trying to roll the other way. I figured he might try the half rock, quarter rock double there.
Yeah,
with the intern.
I think that's what they were talking about, and they had a little bit of a miscommunication. So you heard Delaney say, "I thought you knew." So we're talking about some different angle, but that happens more often in mixed doubles than men's and women's, just because you're playing so quickly. 23 minutes of thinking time for the entire game for 8 ends, and with both players usually at the same end of the ice. Hard to make those decisions quickly, but Dropkin does tap that rock to the back of the 4-foot. Now, only maybe half of that stone open for Casper.
Still not great for him right now. Without hammer, they're in a bit of trouble here. I kind of like the run here, to be honest with you, Ty.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Whatever they think they can make.
Yeah,
it's hard to shooter's shot, right? Whatever he thinks he's going to make or is comfortable with. And now, as you said, Billy, they're lining that up.
Yeah, it's a smart shot.
Yeah, it is possible for all three to go. They hit this in the right spot. So Danny playing this out-turn run back on the red guard. The helpless feeling of watching the stone without sweepers. Does clear the top stone, so better than it was, and almost as important, taking the stone out that's on the top of the 4-foot. So now the two behind the tee line are still in play, which will force Dropkin to have to play another draw underneath that.
That's the other thing too, is broadcasting this, right? Trying to figure out what stone you're in at times, right? Must get a little lost.
Yeah, as long as we have it right here.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna look over there. Thank you.
Yeah. Please feel free to use the screen. That is why we have it here. And sometimes you get caught up in a mixed doubles game, seeing that there's still 2 rocks down there, but one of them isn't being thrown.
Right.
So there is only 1 rock left to throw down there. Pretty good shot here from Dropkin. Maybe a little bit deep, actually. So that freeze to get out of the end for Strouse. There's 2 different spots that they can play this.
Exactly what I was just thinking, what Korey just said. Put some pressure on her.
Yeah.
This is first end. You got to lock her in there. This is a big shot for her.
Yeah, first end of the game, whether it's mixed doubles, men's, women's, putting your opponent in a position where they have to make a shot, especially without hammer, against multiple points, always a good situation.
Yep.
So final stone of the first end for teams Strouse and Casper. Delaney Strouse really needs to make a good freeze here to prevent a big end for Thiesse and Dropkin. I don't think I'm going to say anything about how Delaney's played over the last year after what we did to Danny on his first throw, and we'll just let her play this first. No jinxes this time. Line does look a little tight based on the paths we've seen. A lot of rotation, going to need to hold it, but really cutting hard now. Casper trying to hold the wind out, count a couple
Wow.
of these. It might even be shot rock. What a shot by Delaney Strouse.
Pistol there.
Yeah, that is shot rock for Reds. So fantastic sweep by Casper. We get to give the skips some credit for how they can sweep too, instead of just that 6 feet.
It's funny. I talked to Danny last night, and he was complaining about sweeping. So
A true skip
Yeah.
through and through. I don't even play anymore, and I still complain about sweeping.
yeah, exactly.
Just the thought of doing it. Looking to see if maybe they can just tick this rock sideways and try to get more than one. As Cory said, there is a run to pick that off. I'm not sure there's a ton of risk playing it, Bill, with how the rocks are lined up. It'd be awfully tough to stick it and give them more than one, or lose all 3 of those somehow.
Which is, if you threw it hard, it'd be interesting to see if they ever threw that shot. You hit that red hard on the thin. Would all the yellows go?
The final stone of this first end, Cory Thiesse. They are trying to catch a piece of this on the side and push it sideways. Line looks pretty good for it. Going to be really close.
Oh.
Well, actually,
Oh,
rolls out of the 4s now. Could be a measurement, or Dropkin saying 2 yellow right away. So if that is 2, that is a fantastic shot by Cory Thiesse. All right, I'm glad one of them is shot for sure, because, Bill, I've already remarked that my record on predicting measurements is 2-0 this week. I don't want to have to call a 3-way one. So I'm going to say, looking over the top, boy, this is really close. I'm going to go with yellow because Cory and Korey seem to think it's yellow, and I'm going to trust them. So I'm going to go for 3 for 3, going for yellow. What do you think?
oof. Looking yellow to me, too.
Well, that'd be good. I'd love to be 3-0.
I'm going with you.
So 1 already for yellow on that great shot by Cory Thiesse to piece that sideways. Measuring for a second point.
Just doing it backwards.
That almost measured the back of the stone. Delaney not wanting to watch this measurement, as the initial read was on the opposite side of the stone, but now we have it corrected. Everything should be fine. Yellow it is. 3-0 for your commentator this week. I'm loving life right now. 2 yellow it is. Bill, you're 1-0. You stuck with the right call. So after one end of play, Thiesse and Dropkin lead Strouse and Casper 2-0. Beginning of the second end of action here in our feature game. 2023 USA Curling Mixed Doubles National Championships. Tyler George and Bill Stapera in the booth. And at the beginning of the second end, time to talk once again about Warm Room Hero, one of our sponsors for the competition. Is your curling club website clunky and unworkable? Are you tired of your club relying on social media because your website just does not work for your members? Finally, the curling management software your club has been waiting for is here. Check out Warm Room Hero at curling.club today. Bill, I'm not sure if that shot was there for 3. They thought that maybe they could hold the shooter too, but in order to push that rock far enough out of the forefoot at the angle they did, I think they needed every bit of the weight they had, and it ended up still being a measurement for that second point. So I think 2 was probably the max they were going to get.
Yeah, it was a heck of a shot. You know, really difficult. And she pulled it off for a deuce.
Yeah, that's as tough a shot as you can have, especially in the mixed doubles game, too, where you don't have the skip on this end calling the line.
Yeah.
So the shooter has to call that, and the sweeper still has to jump back and forth with the holding it straight or turning it over. So great team shot for the 2 of them. Perfectly done.
Yeah, the whole first end was well played. A lot of good shots.
Delaney Strauss's first shot of the second end. Little opportunity to take good position with Thiesse's in-turn draw stopping in the top of the rings. Not a bad spot, but Delaney would like to get inside of that one if possible. Line looks pretty good. Right to the tee line. Maybe a touch deeper than they would have liked, but a good spot. Bill, you played a lot of mixed doubles back in the home club or any spiels or anything?
You know, I did a couple seasons in the club, and that was fun. And but that's really about it. Never really played competitively.
I've said a million times over that I didn't particularly enjoy playing it, but it was probably because I wasn't all that good at it. And my sister tended to carry me when we played. She was an excellent mixed doubles player.
A little heavy here coming in.
Yeah, Cory Dropkin saying this is way too much weight for the freeze. So maybe just playing to the back one. Oh, that's good teamwork there. Sometimes the encouragement is talking about, you know what? I know you were bad, but I was bad too.
Exactly.
And I know I've mentioned this too, Bill, but I can't help but see Mike Farbelow in Danny Casper's delivery with how high up he is. It looks uncomfortable to me, but works for him. And for Farbs, he got higher up and higher up as his career went on. So if Danny's already starting there at 21, I have no idea where he's going to be once he gets later on in his career.
I know. I'm playing with Farbs next week.
Oh, there you go.
Seniors. So
what's the squad?
Farbs is going to skip with Richie playing, Rahonen playing third. I'm playing second, and Tim Solon at lead.
Ooh, powerhouse squad. Yeah, and is that the national championships?
Yeah.
Okay, and where's that being held?
Seattle, Washington.
Perfect.
So we
got that's right. Annie was mentioning that earlier too about going out there. Swiss Helm. A loaded squad. Obviously, your front runners for the national championship.
Who knows? There's a lot of great teams there. A few champions.
2 rocks now on the button for Strouse and Casper, but possibility with the way they're set up for Cory Dropkin to play this out-turn tap, move that rock back a few inches and sit at least second count. Really like to get at least to the pocket, if not the inside, for a little bit of a roll. So your baby boy throwing a heater over there on sheet C.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to watch 2 games at once.
We can do that. The pros can multitask.
He got some rocks moving.
And nice shot by Dropkin. Does indeed tap that back and roll over. Don't worry, I got this game.
Thank you.
You got to watch Andrew throw. You're good. We'll listen in to what Delaney and Danny are thinking here so Bill can watch Andrew a little bit as well.
Well, I was going to say though, here on this sheet, if you freeze there, then they guard. What are you doing?
And
I
not
don't
a whole
know.
lot.
They got some issues
Not much you can do.
getting out of this. Because they mentioned the run back again, which, you can get a lot of them moving.
I heard board as the call. Must be trying to play maybe to the back stone and roll.
Trying
over.
to release the back red, right?
Yeah. Kind of a difficult spot to get to. Awkward setup in the back of the fours. Here is Danny Casper on this out turn. Playing board weight. Now trying to get it to turn over. Does roll in and settles, so that rock is locked in for a little while. One of the things we've seen with this ice too, Bill, in talking to Sean Olafson, head ice maker, that this is by design, that the break point for the curl is closer to back line weight as opposed to hack or board, which is where you normally see it. So as much curling as they're getting with draw weight, where you're seeing broom out into the 12-foot, the back line types weights, back 12 types weights are running so much straighter than the draws. So really rewarding precise shot making with draw weight and soft weights. Dropkin trying to play to the freeze on that rock on the top of the button. That turning over and dying now, has to go for weight too. Ends up freezing. Going to take some effort to move these stones around with how locked up they are. Red is definitely sitting one.
And they're talking about guarding.
Yeah, with the way these angles are set up, I don't know that there's a whole lot else they can do.
Yep.
So they're hoping just to get one at this point. If they do guard and Dropkin and Thiesse don't have anything, you might see 2 rocks thrown away to finish this end and have one scored for red. I've seen 3 at one point. Men's game that we played a long time ago had 3 consecutive rocks thrown away. 2 both by the skip for the team with hammer and 1 for the team without. So nobody wanted to move them. It would have given the other team an opportunity. We even talked about it in the house. I said, well, what are they going to do if we throw it away? And they even chimed up and said, well, we'll throw it away. All right, well, I guess that's what we're doing. So we just wanted to get it done with quick, and 1, 2, 3 through. And that was it.
Figured you were trying to get to the bar faster.
Well, it really wasn't any, for either team. If the rocks would have been moved, it would have given an opportunity to the other team.
Right. It's a good shot there.
Good guard. I think there's a whole lot of risk in trying to play something here for Dropkin and for Thiesse.
I mean, do you get hurt if you... There's no draw in there for 2, is there, Ty?
No, there's no space for a second counter right now. If they throw it away, then there's nothing that Strouse and Casper have, I don't think. Or just race to the other end and get behind the house. So they're trying to skinny these guards, the center guard and the rock in the top of the 8-foot, to just touch the one in the top of the 4s and move that yellow stone back to try to get shot rock. Getting tight to the guard now, but looks like it's still by.
Oh, boy.
They were actually trying to move the second yellow one into the red to sit
Just
shots.
throw it away.
There's nothing there, so this will be a quick decision to throw this rock away.
You felt it was coming. You knew they were going to throw it away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought we might get 2 throwaways, actually, but this one not surprising, especially after listening to Delaney and Danny's conversation before that shot. Like, they didn't see anything at all at play. So a good quick decision, saving some time on the clock, and we can save some time going to the break as well with, we believe, 1 red already decided for Strouse and Casper. Dropkin's going to take a little closer look to make sure, but they are decided. So 1 red, and the score after 2 ends will be Thiesse Dropkin 2, Strouse Casper 1. Beginning of the 3rd end here at the 2023 USA Curling Mixed Doubles National Championships. Draw number 6, Pool B, their 3rd game of the competition. Strouse and Casper, Thiesse Dropkin, both at 2-0. Winner of this game will be all alone in first place. 2-1 the score, Thiesse and Dropkin leading with Hammer here in the 3rd. Bill Stapera with me here, Tyler George in the booth. Bill, a former teammate of mine for about 3 weeks, I think, Bill.
Yeah, we played
There we are. We got it.
I'm back. Sorry.
We're good.
Yeah, we played nationals together in one of the great trades in curling.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to call it a 6-player swap or a 2-player swap, one way or the other.
It was a 2-player swap.
Yeah, Heath McCormick and I switching teams after the Olympic trials in 2014 and played nationals with each other's teams, which was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed that. Wish your skipper would have played a little better that week, but still a really fun competition to do with you and Dean Gemmel and Marty Sather.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good. It was a good time.
Yeah, and you guys had great history in that venue too, in Philadelphia.
Yes.
The national championship there in 2012. Myself, that's the only 2 nationals I played in where I didn't make the final. So didn't really like Philly very much. Here in Kalamazoo, here we go.
This is a
Now I
good
got
spot.
2 for 2 on national championships.
Yeah.
This is my place. That first stone from Strouse ends up in the top of the house. And now Thiesse coming around again. That all-important first stone, Bill, allowing the opposition to take that spot on the button, sitting 2 with Hammer.
Yeah, nobody really liked the shots they just threw, too. Both those shots were just a hair off.
We take a look at the scores around the other sheets. Sheet C, Anderson Stapera 2-1 over Podol and Perry. Sheet D, Anderson Richardson That would be Taylor Anderson. 2-1 over Mulaney and Sinnott. And over on sheet E, Nickel and Nickel, Bookout and Wiesa both at 1 after 2 ends. And here again in our feature game, 2-1, Thiesse and Dropkin leading with Hammer in the third. Well-placed stone there from Danny Casper, right on the top of the button. Perfect position. So Korey Dropkin electing to play the run and open things up. And Bill, that's something with mixed doubles that is so much different from men's and women's, where the decision to bail on these ends has to come so early, obviously, because there's so few rocks left. Dropkin throwing his first to the end. They only have 3 rocks left, so if you were playing a men's game or a women's game, you'd be on third, second stone already. At that point.
Right. But it's prudent sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, especially when you make those run backs.
And it's always on one of 2 shots, really. It's the middle player's first or second to bail most of the time. So now at least you have 3 shots left to try to move things around as best you can. And this guard from Casper a little bit tighter, so expect Dropkin probably to take another run at it with that rock being closer to the house. So the run back attempt again from Dropkin, seeing how much granite he can move, hit this in the right spot, and all 5 of these rocks will at least go somewhere.
So we get into the billiards part of the game.
Yeah, these are the fun ones, the ones where if you're impartial, you like to see the shots made because all the rocks flying around everywhere. Korey ends up popping that one a little wide on both throws. Even the correct terminology.
Good call,
We
Ty.
pretend they can't hear us, Bill, but they actually can. These are two-way.
They get another one. Yeah, there you go. That was nice.
I would expect this to be replaced again by Danny Casper. He'd be perfectly content to give 1 point if it comes to it, but this could end up a situation where they could set up a steal using that guard or that rock in the top of the 12-foot essentially as a guard. A steal of 1 point for Andrew Stapera and Sarah Anderson in the third end. They now lead 3-1. Danny Casper trying to get this to turn over to guard that rock in the top of the 12-foot. Should cover a good piece of it, but be extremely tight.
Korey going to throw one more time?
Well, if you get 3 cracks at it, you better make 1. If I'm Korey, I probably would like 1 more chance at it. Something about this Korey doesn't like from what he sees. I think I agree with Corey Thiesse. You can get that moving going over the top.
Yeah. She could be thinking my yellows are going to be gone. And there's a couple of reds left.
Yeah, I think you really want to get that moving over the top to make sure that the guard is gone for sure.
He's closer this time.
Now, this one should move something. It's 2 of them, but third red does stay there, and the guard stays there, more importantly. That is the most dangerous one to allow a steal. So they are going to try to get shot rock here. I think, Bill, they're thinking throw back 4 out of hand and then sweep to have enough to get shot. And if it ends up just tapping and not moving it far enough to get shot rock, you're still probably forcing.
Yeah, you got to be careful you don't leave it double though here.
Yeah, bouncing off is your worst case scenario. Moving the yellow and then staying either pocketing those 2 reds so that you can clear both, or leaving them at an angle where they both go in anyway. The most important thing is line on this shot. And if you have that, then you can hammer it as much as you want to try to get shot rock. Delaney Strouse's final stone in the 3rd. Top 4 is the call on weight from Danny. Looks like it's all of that. Now starting to turn over hard. So not going to push it for count, but we'll settle in on a line when I don't think both of those reds are going. So this maybe a draw to the side of the button there on the intern side to get a second counter.
Looks like that's all she's got. She'd have to get a lot of that button. So
yeah, as long as the weight's close, then there shouldn't be any risk. You'd have to be pretty heavy and narrow in order to bump yourself out of counts. So we'll see if they can walk this down. Korey can bring out the old straight ice Duluth dead handle and walk this thing in sideways. We don't really have that straight ice anymore like we used to, but if you ever saw players coming out of Duluth for playdowns back in the 90s and the 80s, you probably saw some pretty lazy handles coming down the sheet.
a little slower ice too.
A little bit. 23 seconds, edge of 4s to get to the button. No problem. Looks like it's got to go for weight too. Boy, this is really close.
Oh. Maybe.
Oh, took a little turn at the end there. I'm not sure. This is close. What a shot, regardless if it's a point or not. That's an incredible draw. Yeah, they said just one.
Just one.
So I don't have to make a call again, thank goodness. But really good effort there on that draw. And it is 1 point for yellow. So after 3 ends, Thiesse and Dropkin leading Strouse and Casper 3-1.
Twin Cities Orthopedics is ready to go with more doctors, specialty services, and convenient urgent care locations. Ready, set, TCO.
Fourth end to play in our feature matchup. 2023 USA Curling Mixed Doubles National Championships. Thiesse and Dropkin leading 3-1 over Strouse and Casper. Delaney and Danny will have hammer here in the 4th. Try to put up a crooked number to either tie this up or take the lead. Cory Thiesse playing the out-turn draw to start this end off, and we've seen a couple of draws short in the last 2 ends from the team starting off the play. Just allowed team with hammer to take position, but nobody's really been able to capitalize on that yet, Bill.
No. A lot of great shot making and, about what I expected in this game. Super competitive.
That's a good start to the end from Thiesse. Heard a lot of apologies from those two on shots that look pretty good. Both teams relatively good on time, just about on pace. Delaney Strouse playing out-turn draw to follow. Back four, the call from Danny Casper. Don't really want to bounce off on this line. Pushes it back behind the tee, so not a terrible result.
Yeah, it's a mixed doubles is a cruel game. You miss by a foot, and you're like, uh-oh, you get in trouble. I think I was watching the earlier games when Andrew was playing. All 4 sheets had at least 2 threes on each sheet. You know, they're just scoring like crazy. A couple 4s. There was a 5 out there.
And we've remarked so much, too, about how live the striking bands are. So with a mixed doubles game, when you're trying to play freezes and it barely touches the stone and still moves it a couple of feet, when you're that close to the dead weld, it makes those shots even that much more precise.
Exactly.
A little tap to the back of the forefoot and good angles again for Thiesse and Dropkin.
Ty, I don't know. What do you think you're doing here? It says they're trying to figure it out.
Well, they were talking about peeling and just opening it up. I think that guard is high enough that you can come around and move those stones. I'd be tempted just to play the in-turn and try to move that rock to the back of the left side of the forefoot and sit dead underneath that guard. The way that walks down, even with it over buried, you can still get to that spot pretty easily. So I think maybe a back 8, back 12 type of weight and just tap that stone just behind the tee line.
Yeah, you leave it there, it's going to be tough to get rid of without hitting something else.
It looks like they are electing to run back here, open things up. And Bill, it's kind of tough. I mean, even though you still have 4 ends left in this game and you do have your power play left, your opponent does too. And they have a 2-point lead. So playing this shot now, they're trying to open things up, maybe clip the back one so they have a chance to score more than one still. But if you're the one playing the run at this point, then it's pretty unlikely that you're going to have a chance to set up a multiple point end. So you're killing another end and another chance to come back. That's why I like playing that tap with the score the way it is as opposed to playing that low percentage run.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could look at it a couple of ways. You don't like the setup and you're just trying to score, right?
Yeah.
And then try to get aggressive again later. I don't know.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah, you can rationalize it in either direction. It's just a matter of if you, in the mixed doubles game, comebacks are usually more likely than in the men's and women's games. But you are shortening the game on yourself still when you're trying to come back, and scoring a point, not the worst thing in the world, being down by 1, but just the way it's curling it, I thought that tap really wasn't as difficult as it maybe looked like by the way the rocks were set up.
Mm-hmm.
Dropkin trying to hold this one to nose tap, crossing a little bit. That may have lined up a triple here for Danny Casper.
You think you can spin it out of there sideways, huh?
Yeah, it looks like just about nose, and all 3 of those yellow may go. It's just maybe a hair high on this in-turn run. You hit about 7/8, maybe even a little bit thicker than that. And all 3 of these go.
Can the red stay?
Yeah, that's the question.
If he hits it right.
If you pick it clean, I think that the first red stays for sure.
He threw it pretty hard. It did stay.
There they go. And
That's
yeah,
a great
1
shot.
does stay, yeah.
Yeah.
Look at us right in the booth again, huh? This is all pro all the time up here.
It's funny though. Sometimes it's an easier shot, right?
Yeah.
And because that one was not one of the harder ones you'll play today. I think the draws are actually some of the draws to the 4-foot will be harder than that one.
Yeah, and when you're throwing the weight that Danny did on that shot, mixed doubles, men's, women's, doesn't matter. It's just, basically put the broom where you want to hit it and throw it. So even though it's curling as much as it is, you can still hold that line and basically put that broom exactly where you want to hit the stone, and it's not going anywhere. Now Dropkin playing the double right back, intern slash. Looks like he's backing it out a little bit. Just papers by.
It's amazing he gets up and chases.
I was
those
just
things
thinking
down.
the same thing. There is no chance that I would be able to catch up to that stone after I threw it.
Oh, he's throwing 6.5 second hog to hog it probably.
Yeah, and he's catching up to it halfway down the sheet.
Well, he's moving pretty fast when he's skating out there.
Is he even? Is he standing up before he lets it go? Like, is he up here and then?
Well, would Danny be able to get up there faster if he tried to do it?
I'm not sure Danny could catch up with his draw quicker than Cory could catch up with that peel. So just trying to even these up and throwing this back 8 foot. Very good chance of a 2 if they can do that. They got caught in between, and now he's not sure where he wants to leave it. So electing to leave a thinner double instead. Listen to see which they want to play, the roll or the double.
Yeah, this is a roll, I think. It's probably a little easier, but the double's there. Just make sure you hit the first red.
It's kind of unnerving, isn't it? Looks like they're looking right at us.
I know.
Those watching at home, they can see you too.
That was a great shot, though.
Yeah. I feel like the games that we've had Kathy for, because we've had a few already, that 3/4 of the time that she ends up on camera, she's got those binoculars up to her face. It's got to mess with your depth perception a little bit if you're looking through them that much.
Yeah, exactly. So what they pick, the roll or the double?
Sounds like the roll. No, they changed their mind. That definitely looks like the double now. They had settled, so while we were looking at the binoculars, I think they changed their mind. So indeed playing the double, very close here. Oh, great shot by Thiesse. Look at that. Perfectly done. And those shots are so dangerous too, Bill, with the perfect shot and the worst possible result being so close to each other. Artistry, that's right. Any way you can make it.
It's funny, this shot gets interesting because you have to score, right? Or you don't score, but someone's going to score. So do you throw the draw here, or you throw the hit?
Yeah, that's a preference thing for the skip again, or for the person throwing the last shots. If they'd rather draw or hit, usually in these you see the draw. You have a little more influence over that shot with one person, and you're not worried at all about the line. So you don't care about the person being at the other end. So they are throwing the draw. So both sweepers getting in on this one, trying to make sure this gets to full 8s. Doesn't look like it'll be a problem. We'll go right to the lid. Perfectly done. So at least a good confidence builder for Delaney for draw weights later in the game too. And going into the 4th end break. Breaks brought to you by Warm Room Hero, the intuitive curling club software that takes the stress out of schedules, registrations, and more. Warm Room Hero, a platform built for curlers by curlers. Check out Warm Room Hero at curling.club today. Our score at the break: Thiesse and Dropkin 3, Strouse Casper 2.
Let's say you're in high school and there's a sport you like, but sometimes you think, it might be cool to try a new sport.
Twin Cities Orthopedics is ready to go with more doctors, specialty services, and convenient urgent care locations. Ready, set, TCO.
Just about to come back out of the break here after 4 ends of play. Our feature game, the 2023 USA Curling Mixed Doubles National Championships. Draw number 6, game number 3 for Pool B. Thiesse and Dropkin leading Strouse and Casper 3-2. Tyler George and Bill Stapera in the booth. And Billy back and forth battle in the first 4. No big ends. A couple opportunities maybe for the team with Hammer to set something up, but nobody really able to capitalize. And also both teams doing a good job of bailing and getting out of trouble. Especially we saw in that last end with Cory Thiesse making that quarter of a rock double to avoid giving up the 2.
Yeah, I mean, I think out of the break, they're probably saying, we missed a couple by a few feet, just been real close, but just every once in a while we get a shot a little heavy, a little light, and but super well played game so far.
We have seen a few misses coming out of the break, the same as we'd see in the men's and women's games. That mop is run on the heavy or wide side. And here's the scores across the other sheets. On sheet C, Sarah Anderson, Andrew Stapera up 4-1 on Podol and Perry. Sheet D, Taylor Anderson, Ben Richardson tied 3-3 with Delaney and Sinnott. And sheet E, Nickel and Nickel, now down 5-3 to Bookout and Wiesa. A 4-point end there in the 4th from Bookout and Wiesa to pull ahead by 2 points. It is the only end tonight in any of the 4 games with more than 2 points scored. A little unusual in mixed doubles play. We did see a 6-point end earlier in this competition, too.
What was that? When was that?
I believe that was the Nichols scored 6 against Rohrbacher and Skebby, if I remember right. They all run together. It feels like it was a week ago, and it was probably this morning.
By the way, 3 really good shots right there.
Yeah, great
2,
start there from the break.
Both of them.
Yeah, one of them was there already. We did forget that, too. But 2 very nice draws there, and Thiesse perfectly done to follow up Delaney Strauss's perfect shot. You heard the call back for Danny Casper. Just going to try to unlock these stones, move that red one of theirs back a little bit, and change the angles a little as well. Looks like it should finish up to get to nose here. A pretty good result.
Good shot.
Danny giving himself a pat on the back. Looking up here. What a weight call, he says. And a grin for the booth. Really nice kid, Bill. I know you know him very well. I've had some experience with him, working with him on the ice, and kid that was, a young man now. I hate to use the word kid, but use it, lovingly. But spent some time with him. He was a little downtrodden from, struggling to break through with the high performance program and get in and work his way up in the national circuit. We've all been there. It's told him, keep your head up. Don't count on other people to recognize talent for what it is. Just keep working hard, and eventually you win to the point they have no choice but to recognize you, as my father always told me. And a couple of years later, watching him skipping a men's team in the national championship game, where he's gotten to these last few years because of his hard work. Just incredible, and such a nice kid, too.
Absolutely. We've known him forever. He was actually kind of a short guy when we first met, probably 14, 13. And you're right about his development. It's been spectacular, off the charts. It's awesome to see. As you said, he's such a great kid. And, I'm so happy for him. His father and mother, too, who are also, we curl with, we hang. So it's pretty cool.
I got to have a nice moment with his father, remembering that short session I had with him working with some delivery stuff. Something I changed with my delivery to throw more weight more accurately, too, later on in my career. I wish I'd done earlier on, working with Danny with that. He loved it. And he has no problem throwing the high hard one now, but just thinking back to that and talking with his father about where he was and now where he's at, it's almost hard to believe, I'm sure, for his dad, for everybody, for Danny himself.
Yeah.
That one just over curls a touch, rubs that rock at the top of the forefoot. Had to get real close with it being a little bit up with the weight, too.
Yeah.
As much as we talk about Danny, we see the same thing, obviously, with Delaney Strouse, too. Seeing these two play together is a lot of fun because of the future that both of them have in the sport. And one thing they share, besides the success they've had, is the fearlessness of the game. And my sister's coaching Delaney for quite a while, and Kathy O has worked with them as well. And they were one of those teams that would draw you to death a few years ago, and now have developed a more all-around game where they can still draw, and they'll do it at every opportunity, but they know when to play the hits and when to change gears a little bit more. And they're growing into a very strong women's team. I was so impressed with all of them, 1 through 4, too. Obviously, I've worked with some of Danny's guys, too. But that women's squad for Delaney, they're so strong 1 through 4 right now. It's almost maddening watching what they can do and think you're not supposed to be able to do that at this point in your hurling career. So the sky's the limit for where they can go, and we're all excited to see what both of those teams can do. We hope to see them stick together moving forward. A little bit jarring with the team they're playing against. Both of them being in that exact same spot. Doesn't seem so long ago, but the seasoned veterans in this matchup. Well, it looks like maybe a guard. I don't think they're shot rock. Looks like the rock in the back of the butt is one. So maybe thinking just make them waste a stone first, or maybe they're trying to come all the way around and play that freeze again. Couldn't really tell from that final conversation. And just playing the guard. I think Delaney was a little confused by it. Tight 2. Tight, she'd probably be expecting 3. Ends up carrying all the way to the top of the 12s. Now frustrated he broke his own streak of reading his weight well.
Oh, he holds power for quite a while.
Trying to get some granite moving again, so not throwing the high hard one here, but enough to move all the stones. Like to keep their own around, so they don't want to hit this too hard. Seeing if they can spill that red at least and keep the yellows in. That's another one that Korey missed on the wide side with these upweight shots.
That one looked like it floated a little bit on him.
Yeah, you heard he thought those rocks were closer together, so that had some more margin for error on that shot too. Difficult decision now for Casper. Might be time for a timeout to look at these angles and figure this out even.
Bringing out Delaney's brother, Sam, if he came out.
Clock getting a little low now. Both teams under 9 minutes, and now Casper and Strouse under 8 minutes. Still 3 ends to play. Not drastically low, but definitely a place where you're going to have to start to play a little bit quicker. So they are playing the freeze. Not sure if that means they're freezing on the top 8s or on the rock on the button, but the angles are not good for Strouse and Casper with where these rocks are set up. And the reason they're not guarding is because they can't guard both shots for multiple points, whether they're playing the yellow-red back, which could possibly be for 3, or if they guard that, then they leave it draw for 2 anyways.
Yep.
Does weasel by and chips that stone.
It's not bad.
Boy, that might be the best thing they could have done. They moved that enough and rolled over so there's no gun. So I think that's perfect, actually. Yeah, it was, Danny.
There you go.
Yeah, that's as good as you can do it. That's fun to see it when it's still fun for them. I know we kind of forgot that from time to time, that it is a game. It's supposed to be a good time.
Danny is having fun.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Which is nice. He's loose. He's having a good time. He's doing what he loves. It's great.
Yeah, that was a great shot. That's the only way that you can prevent your opponent from having a shot for 2 is moving that stone, rolling away a little bit, moving it out of count. Actually sitting 2.
Pretty much the same shot here that Danny just threw, right? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, essentially the same shot. But yeah, they moved it out of count and had to shoot and roll away so there's no run and stick around for second count. That's a fantastic shot. Now draw for a single point. Cory Thiesse. Line looks pretty good. That will be a single. Well done there from Thiesse. She's playing extremely well. So the single after that great shot by Delaney Strouse. The score stands after 5 ends of play, 4-2 Thiesse and Dropkin lead.
The everyday person may not aspire to be a professional athlete or an Olympic athlete. You may just want to be the best person you can be. You just may want to sleep better. You may want to feel better. Thorne has many products that can support all of those things. So it's not just about performing or running faster or jumping higher. It's those little things that go into having a higher quality of life.
Sixth end of action here. Our featured game in this broadcast at the 2023 USA Curling Mixed Doubles National Championships, Thiesse and Dropkin leading Strouse and Casper 4-2, and we do have a power play to start this sixth end for Strouse and Casper, and as it's the start of the sixth, thanks to our friends at Floor Curl, USA Curling member clubs are entitled to a 20% discount on any Floor Curl inflatable rink set. These rinks only take a minute to inflate or deflate, are the perfect way to promote your club at summer festivals, events, anywhere you have a flat surface. No ice required. Visit usacurling.floorcurl.com. Use the promo code FCInflatable20. That's usacurling.floorcurl.com. Promo code FCInflatable20. There is that tick shot on the corner guard by Cory Thiesse, continuing her great play, Bill.
Yeah, they make that tick shot like it's easy. It's pretty impressive to watch. You're throwing out there, nobody's throwing anything out there at all. And they just, no problem, just tick it right in there. Easy.
That's the most impressive part, is they're playing a line that they don't have any reference with, really, except for what they've seen throughout the week. And consistently still make that shot. There's your son with another Hummer over there on sheet C. See how many he can lose. Two to go.
3 in a second. He's still
Good shot, though. Especially a good shot with a 4-point lead.
So interesting. I think they're choosing to throw the corner guard, put the corner guard back up, right, as opposed to drawing open here.
Yeah, we've seen that a few times too. That they making the opponent make the tick again if they want to play it. Now it's with the opponent's stone. So instead, it forces the opponent to draw and leave that corner guard there. Ideally, if you're red, then you can use that later on to try to score more than 1 point. So they're just drawing open side, trying to.
No, he's throwing the out.
Oh, he's throwing. Boy, that rope looks tight. And the reverse handle by Cory too again. Just red. So they are playing the freeze. See if this over curls, it's going to make me look smart now too, because I thought the rope was tight. Looks pretty good. And that's very well done. Only sitting first and third. They push that back another foot. End up sitting 2. Electing to try to follow with a freeze of their own on this out turn.
I like this call. You throw another one in there.
Yeah, I think really you have a whole lot of options. The only other shot you can play is to come around the rock at the top of the 12-foot, but something in the house. Trying to push that to sit 2, and looks like it did. So there's a double there, but important shot, Bill, because they're probably only going to get 1 crack at this double. I agree with Cory Thiesse there. throw it a little harder, take the ice out of it a little more on a line you're not real sure about.
And the shooter's gone no matter what here, if he makes it. Or is it going over?
It may stick around. It's pretty close. It's barely off nose to make the double unless they play it into the yellow, too. Clean throw there from Dropkin, but looks like it needs to curl. Not anymore.
Shot.
And perfectly done. Great shot by Dropkin. And rolls underneath cover. Can't do it better than that. Dropkin and Thiesse really rolling right now. These two very complimentary of each other.
Well, that was a pretty good one.
Yeah, even when the shots are off a little bit, it's Salad. Sorry about that. No, I was bad too. It's all good.
Exactly.
Good rapport from the two of them.
But back around the corner again.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an interesting call here. Not playing to the center. Really getting aggressive to try to score multiple points. Line looks pretty good. Even though it's by the guard by a mile, it really finishes on this line. It's a good shot. And Billy, especially in the second half of this game, Delaney and Danny are playing very well, but Cory and Korey really going on all cylinders and making some very difficult shots to get themselves out of trouble.
So they're guarding that, huh?
Yeah, there's not much they can do with that stone unless they think they can walk one down on either side and chip it open, but even then, the shooter's going to have to roll open too. So I think this was always going to be the plan if they go into the corner, and that is the issue with not playing to the center. Because now you're allowing your opponent to guard. Korey throwing a big spinner on that one. Counting the rotations on this guard. There's 6 full rotations, all the way another quarter rotation for a 3. There's a reason why that rock carried as far as it did, Korey. Well, triple is there. Could bring 2 back into the picture now. These 3 go.
That was a funny exchange because she said, "How you going to throw it?" And he said, "Straight."
So there are different types of throws, apparently. I don't think it's quite as elementary as it sounds to us.
It's funny.
I don't know that that's a conversation I ever had with my teammates or John Schuster or anybody. How are you going to throw it? The same way I throw everyone. Hopefully I make it.
Exactly. That's fine.
If we were going to do something different, like if we needed to dead handle one a little bit to try to walk them down the line, then we'd say it. But it's not like on every shot we talk about what type of throw are you going to have. It's just, I know how you throw the stone. Throw it like that, and we'll put a good down for it. Interesting thing in talking with Bruce Mowett's team before the Olympics, in my journalistic role, doing these interviews with the players before the games, talking with Hammy McMillan Jr., he said that the 4 of them practice in pairs and rotate who they practice with, trying to replicate each other's deliveries. So the 4 of them have worked hard throughout their run as a team to all 4 of them have the exact same release, so they can put the same room down for all 4 players. Now that doesn't always work out because it might take you out of your comfort zone, how you throw the stone, but they figured that's going to simplify the game as much as possible, so it doesn't matter who's throwing every single time, you're putting the room down the same spot. So if you can do it, that's fantastic, but it's a very difficult thing to do, to have 4 guys, 4 women throwing the stone the exact same way. Obviously, it's worked very well for Bruce with the success they've had. Dropkin trying to get this to turn over to guard that up. Does guard a good piece, but I think there's a shot for 2 still for Delaney Strouse. Just need to move that stone out of the 8-foot.
It's a good shot. It's going to leave a tough one here for 2, right?
Yeah,
It's there,
I think it's there. Very important shot now. Final stone of this 6th end. Chance for Delaney Strouse, who's made some clutch shots already in this game. Got to sneak through the house weight to hack weight. Bump that yellow stone out of the 8-foot. Stick around for 2 points. Smart on 2 of them to take some time to talk and reset there. Now final stone for Delaney. Looked like a little positive release there. Now here's curling.
Is it looking good here?
That needs to curl to stick around. It does push it. Oh, not quite far enough. Yeah, just a little misread on the line. Didn't turn over as much as they thought. I think they threw it pretty much where they wanted to. I thought Miller was a little
Really?
positive on the release there.
Yeah.
Didn't get the curl they expected. So, after 6 ends and a big steal for Thiesse and Dropkin, they lead Strouse and Casper 5-2.
Just because you're not a professional athlete doesn't mean that you should accept less. The beauty about what Thorn does is our product quality is the same whether they're in the athletic line or whether they're just for the everyday person. Thorn has kept true to never compromising on quality, never compromising on efficacy, never compromising on safety for not only athletes but for everyone who would use their products.
Start the 7th end here in our featured draw, the 2023 USA Curling Mixed Doubles National Championships. Start of the 7th end means one more time to talk to you about Warm Room Hero. More than just software, it's run by curlers dedicated to building long-term relationships with your club. Warm Room Hero provides continuous support to ensure your website exceeds your members' expectations. Check out Warm Room Hero today at curling.club for special event pricing. Tyler George here with Bill Stapera. Bill, one of the better played games we've seen in the competition this week. Score 5-2, really about just a couple shots here and there. Some big shot making from especially Cory Thiesse in important spots, and Delaney Strouse millimeters away from getting 2 on her final shot there in the 6th end. Instead ends up being a steal of 1. So back and forth affair, and really a fun one to watch.
Yeah, so far the right inch has gone to Korey and Korey.
Back a little bit deep there from Thiesse to start the end, but airing on the correct side, not one where you want to be short. Let's push that rock back, so Danny Casper's stone. Delaney Strouse's stone, excuse me. Walks down and ends up with a corner freeze on the back of the butt.
Yeah, that one wasn't exactly where you wanted it. You got the pocket set up.
We got scores and our other draws tonight. Sarah Anderson, Andrew Stapera leading Podall and Perry 5-3, 7th end. Taylor Anderson, Ben Richardson, 4-4 with Mulaney and Sinnott in 7th. Lookout and Weeza leading 6-5 over Nickel and Nickel on sheet E. Our feature game again here, Thiesse and Dropkin leading 5-2 from Strouse and Casper. Nice in-turn draw there from Cory Dropkin. Good angles again.
Yeah, that's just a draw by Danny, just a little deep, and set that one up.
Yeah, so important to try to keep that position above the tee line on those shots and not give your opponent the chance to take that position that Cory Dropkin did with his. This one over curling now. Wrecking the guard for Casper.
We're going to see a run back soon. But
and now a interesting spot for Thiesse and Dropkin where you see they are up by 3, second to last end, but really forced to come around and throw another draw in the house. The way these rocks are lined up, they have a great chance of ending the game here in the 7th by continuing to attack. No reason to open this up right now. You want to protect those 2 you have.
absolutely.
The best guard, Bill, another rock in the house.
Next shot, yeah.
Need this to walk down. I don't really want to bounce off. May open things up a little bit, but it did bump into a spot where it's pretty much locked into the position it's in.
Still, Danny and Delaney have to be feeling a little better after that one, because if he made that perfect, it wasn't looking good.
I do enjoy Delaney's matter-of-fact conversation too. And he asked about playing the hole. Delaney says, "What good does that do?" That's a good question. That's one you need to have an answer to.
Timeout.
Good time for a timeout here. Coach Strouse coming out to join the conversation. We'll listen in. Teams are not in national competition allowed to talk to their coaches on the opposing team's timeout. So Cory Dropkin talking with Mark Lazar on the next sheet, asking him what he thinks. But Bill, I can tell you that as a member of the World Curling Federation Athlete Commission and our commission's representative on the Competition Rules Commission, that is something that we've discussed this season, about teams being able to talk to their own coaches during timeouts by the opposing team, as long as it's at the player's bench. I would expect that's something that is instituted for all competitions, national, international, in the future. There really wasn't any dissent from anybody in the WCF or from any of the players that we've spoken with at this point. It's something we're going to look into more, but in conversations that we've had, nobody can really come up with any reason why in a competition like this, you know, in what sport are you not able to talk to your coach when the opposing team calls timeout? I believe we're the only ones, so.
I have to agree with you there.
Yeah, we haven't had anybody disagree to this point, so, and that is actually a topic that Korey and I discussed at the Pan-Continental Championships in Calgary. They asked about that and said, is there any reason why we shouldn't be able to? I said, I don't think so. So we're going to bring that up and discuss it. So. I heard Korey reference the slams too, that you are able to talk to your coach on timeouts when the opposing team calls.
Yeah, I mean, you know, especially like the junior level, like that should be 2 timeouts. Coach can call, probably more timeouts actually, depending on the age group. But the coach is super important.
I'd like to see the coach have more importance too.
Yeah.
Dropkin playing in turn into this pile of stones just to lock another one into that pocket. After Casper opened it up on the last, but wasn't able to do anything else up. And I guess they're just playing the guard here. I thought maybe they'd come right in and take that position away.
I got my son throwing a draw an 8 over there, trying to get to the 4-foot. I did just got it in there.
It's a pretty good spot, Bill.
Yeah.
Danny Casper trying to move some of these stones around. Just a normal hit weight shot. Could double 2 of these out, leave the shooter there if it does get to the nose of this stone. It's up, hanging out and just jamming. Getting a little dire now.
I don't know how they score if they freeze it. Right?
Yeah, you don't really want to move those stones anywhere, but just come into that pocket.
That pocket, nobody's there.
Yeah, the problem is the yellow stone in front of the red one, the one on the left side of the button from the overhead view, really isn't going anywhere. Weight looking pretty good here, trying to get into this pocket. Just need to cross that first stone a little bit. Don't want to move him too much. That should do it. I don't see any way Red's scoring here. Danny asking if there's any ideas, and I got none for you. Now you're really trying to figure out, is there a way we can just give one? I think you can run that red in and give them 1 point if you hit it just right.
Scoreboard says go for the double.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out any way that yellow stone that's on that left side of the button on the overhead goes anywhere. Just don't see it, so if you can maybe get 2 of those rocks moving and only give 1, that's your only hope here. Looks like it's fading backwards here, and steal of 3 it will be. So the scoreboard will not indicate how well this game was played. So we do have handshakes, and with that steal of 3, the final score will be Thiesse and Dropkin 8, Strouse Casper 2. But Bill, a really, again, well-played game, fun one to watch. The 2 top teams in their pool as of now. Strouse and Casper will drop to 2-1. Thiesse and Dropkin go to 3-0 all alone atop that bracket. But really well-played game, and a couple shots, especially, I keep going back to the double by Cory Thiesse, that quarter of a rock double where it's a 2-point end, no question, for Strouse and Casper. Instead, ends up being a 4-1, and they held the lead the rest of the game.
Yeah, that first end shot was an absolute pistol. So Ty, thanks man for having me. Appreciate it. And that's all I got.
That's a good way to end the day, I believe. Yeah. So thanks, Bill, for coming in. It was a lot of fun. And back with you in the morning, 9 a.m. Feature game will be Eileen Geving and John Schuster against Vicky Persinger and Chris Plies. A fun one to watch. Look at that. We even got the graphic up. Boy, they are on the ball in the booth tonight. So for Tyler George, Bill Stepard, everyone here in the booth, Curling Stadium, USA Curling. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Thanks for watching.